Yo, what's the business? It's your local neighborhood Super Rick here with my boy Brisk. What's poppin', man?
What's good, bruh? You know, it's Amazon Prime Day, so I had my cart full. Had to make sure I got my stuff straightened out over there.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, what you end up getting?
Man, I got an event coming up at the gig, and I got to be outside for a long period of time, and it's hot as hell in Texas. So it's a portable AC unit, and I'm gonna last for 24 hours and blow cool air on you.
Oh, wow.
Up your shirt. Yeah.
It's crazy. It sounds like some Batman shit. Well, today we will be getting into What's the Dirt's video, Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, 100% full story explained. We are doing this video because the previous video that we reacted to, which was 616 in LA, was so thoroughly done, so crazy, so amazing. We realized that Kendrick been hating this dude for a long time, but we didn't know that he been hating this dude for a long time. So we are going to hopefully find the genesis of their beef here. So I'm sure we're in store for some more documentary greatness. Go over to What's the Dirt, give him a like, which I'm giving him right now. Bling! A like and a share. And let's get into it. And a sub. I'm actually subscribed. Y'all know how YouTube be, man. YouTube always unsubscribing folks from stuff. Any damn way. Let's begin.
Drake and Kendrick Lamar hate each other. Well, at least one of them hates the other person, while the other has tried many times to be friendly and squash things. One rapper...
Drake a bitch. I just want to put that in there. You gonna hate my guts and I'm gonna try to be your friend. Fuck that shit. I find out you hate me, niggas. Fuck you forever, damn it. Sorry, guys. Let's continue.
Seemed to believe that they were actually friends, while the other looked at their relationship as a business transaction. After 2 weeks of research, it's safe to say that one MC has lost every ounce of respect for the other. You guys really liked my last video where I broke down all the subliminal disses from Drake's new album, so I decided to stick with a similar style. And in my last video, I asked you guys to hit the like button, which is something I don't usually do, but the video did really well, and I don't know if that's why, but just do me a favor and hit that like button again. Thanks.
Yes, just do us a favor, hit that like button for the first time for us. Thanks. And then go over to his page and hit the like. But if going to his page is too much work for you, you can hit our like. It'll vicariously like his page.
So when it comes to Kendrick and Drake, they weren't always on bad terms. Back in 2011, Drake had already blown up, and Kendrick had yet to release a major debut album. Now, Kendrick was definitely buzzing, but he was far from the star that Drake was. Even back in 2009, Kendrick mentioned Drake on a track where he pretty much admits that he thinks he's better.
Man, my girl split the bucket to KFC. She listening to Drake, and all I can say, damn, these niggas that much better than me, baby.
So Kendrick identified really early on that the mainstream hip-hop wasn't really his thing. However, on June 16, 2011, Kendrick performed in Toronto for the very first time, and when Drake found out he was in the city, he decided to hit him up so that they could meet.
I need y'all to know, this is my first motherfucking time out here, you dig?
And Kendrick would speak about meeting Drake in a XXL magazine and said, "That's a real good dude. He got a real genuine soul. We clicked immediately." And it was during that meeting that Kendrick provided Drake with a copy of his unreleased album, Section 80.
Visions of Martin Luther staring at me.
Kendrick said that Drake was the first person outside of his team to hear Section 80, and that Drake was blown away by the project.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is. And the fact that he said he was a good dude and all of that stuff about him back then.
Yeah. Didn't you say he had an amazing soul or something like that?
Yeah. Which, that's probably why Kendrick hated him so much, because he was bamboozled and fooled.
Yes. Like,
that this man was a great person.
Yes. He felt like he really got tricked. Like, that, and I totally understand it. I'm sorry, Kendrick, you went through that. How old is Kendrick?
I think he's like 37 right now.
So he like probably 5-6 years younger than us. So yeah, man, it's all good, man. If you had been just a little bit older, you would have saw the fraudness from day one, like I did.
37. He's 37 for sure.
Yeah. Let's continue.
I even found a 2011 tweet where Drake posted Kendrick's lyrics from ADHD.
We never do listen unless it comes with an 808.
Drake liked Kendrick's music so much that he asked him to be on his upcoming sophomore album, Take Care. Throughout the track, Kendrick talks about meeting Drake for the first time and how he was surprised that Drake wasn't fake like most of the music business.
Hit me on the cellular, thought he was gonna sell me a false word like the rappers I know.
Kendrick outlines how Drake showed him a taste of what being rich and famous actually looked like.
Sat down with a few drinks, located where you can't see us. A white waitress on standby when we need her.
On the track, Kendrick really battles with the idea of becoming famous, as he's worried that it will change him for the worse.
Yeah, like, damn, this next level that I'm going to, will I get caught up in the lifestyle and would that make me or break me? And that was what the whole record was about when I did the interlude.
And I mean, even back then, we could see the difference in these two artists, where Drake is talking about the Maybachs and his lavish life, and Kendrick is worried about his mental health and his relationships, his friendships. It's interesting because just 2 or 3 years later, the dude did get depressed from just being in the industry.
I didn't know you were suffering from depression the way you said you was on the album. Like,
Yeah.
Did the industry cause that?
Not the industry, just the change.
And Drake only continues to show Kendrick more love by taking him and A$AP Rocky on his Club Paradise tour.
Both of which hate his guts right now.
Pretty wild.
It's my brother A$AP Rocky.
It's pretty wild. So Drake, clearly he ain't listened to Lil Wayne when Lil Wayne told him, don't change, bro. Just be you. Because if he just did that, he'd have been none of this would be going on right now.
And also for me, I ain't go front. Earlier the dude said something along the lines of Kendrick feel like he wasn't fake like the industry dudes. But I'm gonna be honest. Pulling up in the Maybach and showing all that, had the waitress that you couldn't. I think in that song he was talking about, he was battling with like probably how kind of unnecessary this shit is to the life he wants to live. And to me, that would have been my whole like, nigga, this ain't impressing me, nigga. Like, I don't care about none of this shit. Why are you trying to impress me like you cool, nigga? It'd have been I respect people that just come on some regular shit, especially people who I know got it and act like they don't give a fuck about it. That's to me is the realest form of it. But hey, and also another bitch ass move from Drake. How long he know these niggas to be calling them brothers and shit? I gotta know you for a minimum of at least 3 years, nigga, for me to call you my friend, much less brother. Well, let's continue.
But you gotta remember, Drake is somebody who was trying to fit in. So if he's trying to fit in, he tried to latch on. He tried to latch on to Kendrick because he recognized how dope Kendrick was early.
Yeah. And he overcompensating. Don't be calling me brother, nigga. I don't like that shit. I ain't your brother, nigga. What? Let's continue.
I'm on this motherfucking Club Paradise tour, matter of fact. My nigga Drake, TDE, high power in this motherfucker,
And Drake has always claimed to have fought with management to take these guys on tour because his label had other plans.
There's people I can put on here that the label wants me to put on here, but I fight for this one reason, man. Like, I fight to promote what I love. You know what I'm saying? I fight to promote the music that I truly love. So
Drake would mention this again in 2016 on his track 4 p.m. in Calabasas.
When they told me take an R&B nigga on the road, and I told them no and drew for Kendrick and Rocky.
However, Kendrick's superstardom quickly catches up with Drake, as a year later he dropped one of the best hip-hop albums of all time, Good Kid, Mad City.
I used to be jealous of him to follow. He was the one to follow.
And Black Boy Fly is a bonus track, but to me, that's one of the most beautiful songs on that album. Absolutely amazing storytelling. And
How you feel about Drake mentioning that literally by like name dropping, like, yeah, they wanted me to bring some other people, but I brought them? Because I'm trying to go through my mind of rappers that I fuck with who said stuff like that. Because to me, that's coming off on some, look at me. I looked out for y'all niggas. To me, that's some sly telling the audience, like, look, y'all, I was riding for y'all. These niggas, y'all, like, look how great I am. That's how it came off to me. And on some low key subliminal, like, niggas, look what I did for y'all niggas type shit to me.
That's exactly how I feel. Like, look what I did for you niggas, ass nigga, is what Drake was being right there.
That was like, that nigga is slimy. And I'll never use that word to ever talk about anybody. Let's continue.
It was on that album where Drake returns the favor and gives Kendrick a feature on Poetic Justice.
I really hope you play this, cause oh girl, you test my patience.
And on the day that the album dropped, Drake even posted a tweet saying, "Congratulations to Kendrick, incredible body of work, honored to be a part of it." However, even at this point, Kendrick and Drake couldn't be more different in terms of how they approach music and life in general.
Really, money really don't make me. I'm learning that now. You know, that's not really my peace of mind, having money.
I love Electra Chung's shoulders.
You love the shoulders?
I just love her shoulders.
She's actually blushing as well. She's
no doubt about it, they're just two different guys. Next, we get a bit of an inside look on how Kendrick actually sees Drake as a person when the legend himself, DMX, claims that he would love to beat Drake up.
Man, I wish it was like maybe 7 years ago, well maybe like 10 years ago, where you know, catch the elevator, beat him up.
And just a few days later, Kendrick was asked about his thoughts on DMX's rant, and he thought it was hilarious, saying that his entire tour bus nearly died of laughter.
I'm wondering why these niggas in the front of the bus just cracking up, like hitting walls and shit, just crying. I'm like, what the fuck you niggas talking about? They mute, they stop laughing, right? I just hear X going off on the laptop, just massive. I'm like, what the fuck going on? It's like, yeah, he's going in right now.
Now,
and that's how I always felt. But you always said you never watched his interviews and shit. Every time I seen the interview or anything like that, it would make me sick to my soul. I'd be like, how the fuck is this nigga popping right now?
Yeah, I never. It's why I only seen him on video. Even on videos, I would see that he looked weird, and I would literally always tell people, be like, you do know if Drake wasn't Drake, like he would be just a corny cat, cause he ain't like cool. He ain't got a lot of swag and nothing like that. But I knew that. But I was still cool because he made his songs was good though. So I went trip.
To this day, well, like I said, the songs "Take Care" is dope because it was the weekends. And shout out, I forgot who you are, but shout out to that person who sent me the Drakeless version of Crew Love, 100% Weekend. Now I have that song just playing on repeat. This is greatest. Oh my gosh, this is just so wonderful.
Dude, I heard a version of Marvin's Room today with the Weekend on it. It was his verses instead of Drake's. That shit was dope.
Was he Dirty Mackin' on that?
Well, he was kind of Dirty Mackin'. He was kind of Dirty Mackin' still. But it's a lot better because Weekend was doing it. It's the way he was talking.
What was it like? Slick talking? Or?
It was slick talking.
Okay,
I'm gonna find it and send it to you.
Send me that because I need to see the severity of Dirty Mackin'. What was said?
Remember, Drake is pretty sensitive, so if he did see that, he probably felt a way about it. So the two would work together for the very last time on one of 2013's biggest hits.
More bitch asses sticking with you after that interview. Your whole bus was laughing about me getting my ass whooped in the elevator by one of the greatest rappers of all time, and you thought that shit was hilarious? That's you. That's the team.
It's A$AP Rocky's Problems.
Girl, I know you want that. Girl, I'm Kendrick Lamar.
Well, that was it. After that, you never see these two on a track together again. In 2013, things started to get a lot more competitive between the two, because at this point, Kendrick was not just an up-and-comer, he had become that guy.
Getting a lot of accolades from your peers and the hip-hop icons.
Thank you.
I love Kendrick Lamar.
Number one on that list, Kendrick Lamar, what's up?
The hip-hop savior, it seems like.
Woo!
And let's not forget, Drake is still Drake. He had a phenomenal year also.
Shout out to Hamilton. Shout out to Toronto one time. Like a best rap album goes, and they said take care. Oh my
God. You see how he talked different on stage when he was accepting an award, and then when he was like, they said Raps Artist of the Year, and they said take care, but he was on stage, yeah, shout out to the hood, fake hood talk. Man, this nigga's a fraud.
What's wild is when T.I. be doing his intelligent talk, he be trying to sound like Drake sound for real. Indubitably, this is sensational.
But at least I can give he is been consistent. As soon as he opened up the source, that nigga been talking like that ever since.
Given the success of both artists, the media and fans started to debate who was better, and Kendrick started off the year with a bang when he was awarded MTV's Hottest MC in Hip-Hop.
And we went through about 15 of them, narrowed it down to 10. The 10 became 5, the 5 became 2. And you, Kendrick Lamar, are the hottest MC in the game, according to the...
Is Kendrick and Martin related?
You told them ears. Yeah, them ears ain't be.
God damn. Hey, but that's
hey, that's probably how he was the mole. The mole was his ass. He just heard this shit. Look, Kendrick,
I'm about to say.
Please, I'm so sorry, bro. I got a problem with making jokes like that. Please don't murder me lyrically and make my family hate my guts. Let's get
the MTV brain.
And most of Kendrick's hip-hop friends seemed to be happy for him.
I heard you're not happy about that.
Nah, I wasn't until I found out who's number one. They made my man number one, K-Dot, Kendrick, so I'm straight with that.
However, Drake was one person that certainly did not send any sort of congratulations to Kendrick.
What about your rap peers? Did they call? I know it's kind of competitive, so did they say congratulations?
My rap peers? I think Cole.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
And I mean, at this point, Drake's at least got to be thinking, like, this guy's starting to become a problem. He's getting a little bit close now. And Kendrick's winning streak was just beginning, as 2 months later, he cleaned up at the 2013 BET Awards, winning the Best Male Hip-Hop Artist over Drake.
I came up in that same county building, food stamps, welfare, Section 8.
And this time, I did find a tweet from Drake where he congratulates Kendrick on the win. Congrats to Kendrick as well, nothing was the same. And with all that said, things were about to change. August 12th, 2013 was a special moment for hip-hop. To this day, it still stands out as one of the most exciting things to happen in the last decade. On Big Sean's Control, Kendrick let everyone in hip-hop know just how competitive he was when it came to that #1 spot.
I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip-hop and the niggas should know what time it is. And that goes for Jamaica, Big Crit Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, J Electron, Tyler McMillan. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Trying to make sure your core fans never heard of you niggas. They don't want to hear not one more now, no verb from you niggas.
And we could really, really use a moment like that right now in hip-hop.
It's rain like...
Wow. I think he made, how long ago he made this video? 7 months?
Yep.
Kendrick gave it to him.
He definitely did, bro.
Exactly what he asked for. Wow.
Which lets me further believe that this man is connected to TDE or something. He know him and Kendrick holler at each other or something, dog. They cool.
best friends. They kicking it right now.
Yeah.
Cause Mayweather, good music, yay weather, champagne just tastes better.
And let's just give it up for Big Sean, because to me, he had one of his career best verses, but it just got overshadowed because of Kendrick's verse.
I said fuck trying and not doing, cause not doing is something a nigga not doing. I grew up the in big and pie bitch and got ruined. So until I got the same crib, big hat in that juicy vid, bitch, I can't motherfucking stop moving.
But when it came to Kendrick's verse, nobody that he mentioned had a problem with it.
K-Dot and them niggas, that's fam, yo. I think hip-hop need this shit, man, you know.
I knew what it was for hip-hop culture. I knew how important it was.
He said my name, like he said a couple people's name, and he said he's the best rapper. I say I'm the best rapper every song I'm on.
Yeah, but he wasn't coming at him in a disrespectful way. He's coming at him in a competitive way.
So for me, it's one of those things where I appreciate. I didn't take it this seriously as a diss. Hip-hop.
Damn, what happened to Crit?
I don't know, Crit Code, bro. But let me tell you, you notice how everybody who talking about this say it was good for the culture. The only person that had a problem with it was the person who don't understand the culture.
Exactly. And that's why he's getting destroyed now, because he was acting like a bitch then about it. However, like I said earlier, though, if niggas is laughing at you on the tour bus while DMX is just going in about catching you in the stairway slipping, you should hate these niggas. I kind of low key got some respect for him right now. But that wasn't the camera that broke the straw's back, and that's why I can't respect him. He wasn't mad about that. He still tweeted the damn congratulations. He mad because he got called out amongst his peers where he didn't deserve to even be on the fucking list of people in reality, but numbers wise at that time. And he took it the wrong way, which circles back to what you said, because he is not of the fucking culture. Let's continue. Damn, and it's so crazy, all these other people. I pray they got Mac Miller talking on some understanding and shit.
I be competitive, but I am a competitor.
Wait, sorry. Nobody had a problem except for Drake.
I just like, I don't know, it just wasn't real to me. It's like, I saw him after that, and it was just like love. So it's like, was that real, or was that just like for the people? You know what I mean?
I think it's a sparring kind of sport.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, then let it be real then, I mean, because those were harsh words, right? So it's like, you can't just say that and then see me and be like, yeah, man, what's up? Pretending like nothing ever happened. Like, that's not real.
And this
dude said these are harsh words. Like, did nobody else get mentioned? He was like, Drake, I'm trying to murder your bitch ass. He literally said, all the niggas that was popping around that time, you my boys, but I'm trying to kill y'all. And he took it as a direct affront. But
so let me tell you a story. So when I used to be stationed in North Dakota, and when I was stationed up there, I had a whole album that just dropped. And it was this girl I knew. She was not of the culture at all. And I told her, one day we were talking, and she was like, she said something to me, and I was like, oh, no, you cool as a fan. That's what I said to her.
Yeah.
If I said that to anybody else, they'll know, like, oh, I'm cool. So she was like super mad at me for like weeks. And I was like, what is going on? I had no understanding of what was happening. And then she finally told me, she was like, you told me I was cool as a fan. And she took that as I was talking about a fan of my music. Like how I'm a fan of Kendrick, like how I'm a fan of Jay-Z or something like that. She took it as that way. That's the same way that these people, Kendrick over here talking about murdering people. Everybody of the culture understand that he is talking about lyrically on the mic, and that's what it is. But Drake is not of the culture, so he don't get it. He don't understand. He don't speak that language, bro.
At all. And for your not of the culture friend, you got to be a very insecure motherfucker to take it. Even if I wasn't of the culture, I would be like, I'm cool. I would have took the I'm cool, and not as a fan. How did that even? Because it makes sense what you're telling me, but I would have never took it there.
But it's literal. Like, think about this. So another story. When my first deployment, we was talking, and there was this master sergeant he was talking about, and we had all these people called TCE, third country nationals, and they was working with us. And so he was like, look, if we need to make sure that we get everything, all the cables and stuff put in here before the sheetrock go up, because if we don't get it in, it's going to be a bitch to get it out of there. It's going to be a bitch to get it done after that. Yeah. So he walked away, everybody cool, and then we started going, and people over there like looking around, they like looking at the shit. I'm like, man, what's wrong with y'all? They was like, I don't see no dog. I'm like, what y'all talking about? They're like, he said it's gonna be a bitch if we don't. So if you don't speak English, if English is your first language, like little nuances and little slang and stuff like that, it doesn't mean they take everything literal. What you said is what you meant. So if you use a slang term like, oh, it's gonna be a bitch if we don't get this done, they think it's gonna be a dog because they take it in a literal sense. So Drake, it sounded like he was taking a literal sense. I was gonna murder you niggas. As in, like, I want to harm you. I want to make you perish for real. That's what it seems. That's the only thing that makes sense.
If he took it as that, he is as mentally able as that dude that was looking for the dog at the last story you just told.
But the cats didn't speak English. That wasn't their first language.
I mean, when does common sense kind of just kick in? You know what I'm saying?
But if you don't speak the language, how is that common sense? Like, even with the girl with the fans, she never heard that expression at all in her life.
I'm giving her a pass. Where the damn dog was gonna come from, Brisk?
That's why they was sitting there looking like that. They was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Because they was baffled. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a dog about to show up. How?
So crazy world we live in. Let's continue.
This right here is a perfectly good example of why people call Drake soft and emotional. You can't act this way and then sit back and wonder why people are labeling you as such. Like, this is why. And it's interesting because when Drake came into the game, he seemed to understand that competition came with the genre.
It's a great thing, though, to be competitive with those guys because you're always pushing yourself. I mean,
and look, Drake was not a rapper that you could just push around. He did go toe-to-toe with people before. Back in the day, a Toronto rapper by the name of Aristo seriously tried to end Drake's career, and it didn't end well for this guy.
And it's the room of resolution, I'm finishing it in here. If I copy buttons flow, you mimicking his career.
It was good riddance, it was lights out, it was a body, and that's what it was, man. And that's why good riddance, and what happened? Good riddance, right? Bye.
I remember when this dropped because it was all over the hip-hop blogs in Canada. And yeah, we did have hip-hop blogs in Canada in 2009. They did exist. With all that said, Drake dropped nothing.
Wait, the bars he said was what ended dude when he said I'm copying his career and because I ain't go front. I'm just basing off the other pictures, but that dude looked like he could physically whoop Drake's ass. Like them was the bars.
I take it, and Drake looked like he was serious about that. Like he was amped about that. Like
I think he wrote it. Him or maybe
we probably did back.
But as proud as he was of that shit, and as weak as the shit was, but maybe I'm missing context. If anybody is in the know of this shit, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm always open to be incorrect about something. I'm always going to have the bias of Drake being a bitch ass nigga first. So if I'm incorrect and that diss was immaculate, because I'm not going to listen to shit, let me know in the comments. Let's continue. That nigga was excited talking about a body.
Nothing was the same, and we get to hear the first subliminal shot for Kendrick. On the track titled The Language, Drake immediately starts out with a shot.
I don't know why they been lying, but your shit is not that inspiring.
So when Kendrick's Control verse dropped,
that's who
Drake
was
stated
about.
on multiple occasions that he did.
I actually know that song. I like that song, so I didn't know he was talking about Kendrick on that shit.
Wow. And I ain't gonna lie, from this point on, everything, I tell people this all the time, I have listened to every Drake project, but I just put it on and let it play, so when I go hate on him, and his fans would be like, you don't even listen to the shit, I'm like, I heard the shit was trash. I gotta at least play it through. Let's continue.
Did not find the verse impressive, that he thought it was for shock value, and that it would soon be forgotten.
But it was real cool for like, a couple weeks. But like, if I asked you, for example, like, how does that verse start?
One of Drake's more notable claims was that Kendrick had a great first album, but he questioned whether or not he could do it again.
And as far as Kendrick goes, like, I can't wait to see what he does because now it's time to show and prove. And consistency it's been one album. Consistency is like, you need more than one album, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's time to show and prove.
Drake claimed that he was all about putting out memorable bodies of work as opposed to creating.
Nigga was taking whole other niggas' halves of projects. What is he talking about? His best album is a weekend pack. Let's continue.
Moments.
When it comes to competition, I'm more worried about consistency. I'm more worried about bodies of work.
However, Drake continues to send some more shots.
Any nigga that's talking that shit just to get a reaction.
Again, Drake refers to Kendrick as someone that wrote the Control verse to get attention.
I am the kid with the motor mouth. I am the one you should worry about.
A motor mouth is defined as a person who talks quickly and continuously, often without considering what they're saying. In this case, someone that raps fast. Is clearly about Kendrick.
Talking that shit with your back to me, just know it always get back to me.
So outside of the DMX comment, there were some other interviews where Kendrick had laughed at Drake's expense.
I heard about you touring with Drake. I was like, that's dope, that's dope. But I was like, well, I hope he doesn't hang with Drake too hard because Drake isn't exactly doing what we thought he would, what many of nerdy backpackers like myself thought he might be doing a few years ago.
Right. And honestly, man, at this point, I would not be one bit surprised if Kendrick said something behind Drake's back and it got back to him. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all. At the 2013 BET Hip Hop Awards, Kendrick decided to throw some gas on the fire. He went into the awards with the most nominations at 14, and Drake was a very close second with 13. However, Kendrick would be the man to come out on top, winning Lyricist of the Year, MVP of the Year, Album of the Year, and Feature of the Year. Drake also came out with a handful of awards for Best Hip Hop Video, Track of the Year, and People's Champ. However, it would be Kendrick again that stole the show.
Yeah, and nothing been the same since they dropped Control and tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Ha ha, joke's on you, high five. I'm bulletproof, your shots will never penetrate. Pin a tail on a donkey, boy, you been a fake.
So,
pretty self-explanatory.
Yo, that freestyle is so ice cold.
It is, bro. It's so dope, man.
Flawless execution of a free. That's what a freestyle is. I wish I had that damn Drake and Funkmaster Flex queued up, and you know what? I'm putting it in there. That has to be. And let me go in there and cue it up. Hey y'all, that's what a real freestyle looks like, and this is what fucking RB's bullshit looks like. And I'm gonna cut it in. Let's continue.
Kendrick uses Drake's album titled Nothing Was the Same to call him out for being sensitive regarding the Control verse. And this whole thing got a lot of people excited, and just the very next
day, again.
Sway asked Kendrick if the bars were meant for Drake.
Was people want to know, was that directed towards Drake or anybody in particular?
Huh? That was just us having fun as usual.
Uh-huh.
But Drake did not seem to think so, and just a few weeks later, he came with some more subliminal shots on a future track titled Shit. And that's the name of the song, Shit. But I always liked this record.
Took niggas out the hood like I'm from there. So you know it's all good when I come there. I hear you talk about your city like you're running.
Wait. I didn't know this dude. I didn't know he had got on this song, because the version I heard don't got him on it.
Was just Future. Yeah, I think that was like a remix, because the original song, which I love that song, by the way.
Nigga,
the original version, that shit was hard, though.
That beat is sick.
For anybody I'm a super 666 fan. And anytime I hear a 666 sample, especially Turn the Club Up in the background, I'm tearing some shit up. And when I first heard that beat, nigga, I just want to knock off everything that was around. Shit is crazy, and this nigga is on it. Thank you, Lord, for not letting me ever encounter that shit, because I would have been upset. Much like Aubrey was upset a couple of years ago on some song where he said I'm upset. So I kind of understand you, because you make me upset when I hear your bullshit. Let's continue.
Then I brought my tour to your city. You my son there, nigga.
And to me, this is one of the best subliminal shots of the whole saga. Like, Drake sounds like Jay-Z here. It's a very Hove-like thing to say, where he's just completely sonning Kendrick. So it's been known that Kendrick puts on heavy for the West Coast, claiming that he's the...
Come on now, what's the dirt, dude? You said some shit the last video, and but I forgot he is of the Canadian soil, so if that's what Jay-Z sound like to him, and it didn't sound too subliminal. I took you on the tour, in my city, you my son there, sound pretty obvious, but...
King, but Drake refers to him as his son because Kendrick went on his first big tour with Drake, and of course they had some shows in California. At the time, even Kendrick admitted that he was not used to these large crowds.
The transition of me doing the 2,000 venues I've been doing back then is a little sketchy for me doing this 10,000. I gotta really work magic.
I even found a Kendrick tweet from 2012 when he was on tour with Drake, where he says, "Finally home, LA, Club Paradise, let's see what happens tonight."
And if a nigga say my name, he the hot shit. But if I say that nigga name, he still the hot shit. Up, lucky I don't fit into the gossip.
So this one,
and I'm so sorry, y'all. My body is confused because I want to get crunk, but his voice fuck it up to where I can't even tear the club up. I'm so sorry. It's a personal issue. Let's continue.
Clearly a reference to Kendrick's Control verse. A lot of MCs responded to Kendrick with a verse of their own. And Drake is basically claiming that, given the fact that he's a bigger artist, if he says Kendrick's name, he's just doing him a favor.
And this next one's not even a diss. I just want to show you guys my favorite line from the song.
And niggas ain't got it real still.
You know, he just signed a deal with Jordan. Mike Will made the beat. Shit's fire. Come on. However, just
Hey, as a person that is able to enjoy his Drake music, you think he wrote that verse?
Well, now that I know everything I know now, I don't think so.
That's all I needed to know. Cause
Like that's now that I know all the stuff that I've been learning now, like it because I used to view Drake in a completely different way before all of this started. And I even remember you telling me some stuff, and I'm like, damn, I ain't realized that. But now, like, I don't think he wrote. It's a lot of stuff I can't say that he wrote that I thought was dope because he wrote it, and it's hard to view him the same.
And to any drizzy guzzlers out there, I know he writes certain shit, but certain shit is very obvious that he doesn't even have the cultural cachet to even think of putting together and shit. It's certain shit he done said. I was like, "There's no way that he fucking wrote this shit." Cause from where did he get the fucking experience to even put this shit together? It's certain shit that I've heard, and I'm like, in verses like that and shit where he say that shit. No, I don't think that was you, buddy. I think you might have been like, hey, if we change the word from it to that, yeah, that works. All right. You sure? Okay. Yes. I would like all the writing credit, please. Thanks. Get that fucker out the room.
that's how this motherfucker writes something. So let's continue.
Just a few days later, an issue of Vibe magazine was released, and Drake talks about Kendrick again, stating how he didn't like how the control verse messed with the rollout of his album. Where it became an issue is that I was rolling out an album while that verse was still bubbling, so my album rollout became about this thing. Drake then continues to position himself as someone that is above anything that Kendrick has to say. He's hungry, so he's going to do what he has to do, like the BET cypher, but again, it's not enough for me to go. I have to realize I'm being baited, and I'm not going to fall. Jordan doesn't have to play pickup to prove that he can play ball. No offense. Now, at this point in the story, we're about to witness one of the biggest upsets in Grammy history. At the 56th Annual Grammy Awards, Kendrick lost the Hip Hop Album of the Year to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, and rightfully so. People were outraged.
Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
All you gotta do is look at Pharrell's face, because it says it all. He's just trying to get off the stage as quickly as possible, like, why did they get me to do this?
And that if anybody who didn't know how the Grammys worked before then, should have knew how the Grammys worked that night. It's a bunch of bullshit. Let's continue.
Macklemore, feeling the heat, decided to text Kendrick afterwards and say that he felt he should have won and that he got robbed. And it would have been a nice gesture if he didn't take a screenshot of the text and post it on social media for everyone to see. And just a month later, Drake gave his 2 cents in a Rolling Stone interview. You won. Why are you posting your text message? Just chill, take your W, and if you feel like you didn't deserve it, go get better, make better music. It felt cheap, it didn't feel genuine. Why do that? Why feel guilt? You think those guys would pay homage to you if they won? To name just Kendrick? That shit made me feel funny. No, in that case, you robbed everybody. We all need text messages. Now you got
this dude is a whore.
Hey,
Wow.
I don't know, for all you people that's old like me, that Grammy win shit right there, I didn't watch that particular. I don't watch the Grammys, but it reminded me of back in the day when I would watch the MTV Music Awards, Video Awards, and fucking Coolio Gangsta Paradise Beat Bone fucking Crossroads video.
Yeah.
Even Coolio was like, yeah, y'all on some bullshit up here. My video was just me sitting in front of a white broad rapping. I really shouldn't have got this shit.
Let's continue.
guys tell me, does Drake seem like he's the...
Y'all remember that shit though? Crossroads was like fucking damn. That was like the damn avatar of his time of music videos with the special effects.
Having Uncle Charles come out like Uncle Charles was with his eyes went black.
Dude, yeah. I was like, get the hell out of here. Is this Terminator 2? Let's go.
Right.
Defending Kendrick in this article, or does it seem like he's salty because he's not in the mix. At this point, the feud dies down for about 8 months, and Drake even had some very kind words for Kendrick at his OVO Fest when he brought out J. Cole.
Hey, one thing about I noticed J. Cole got the opposite issue with Kendrick. His ears is too folded into his head. It's like
Anyway.
You all got your phones out. I want to shout out my nigga Kendrick Lamar. Shout out to Kendrick. Kendrick was on my album. We went on tour together. That's one of the hardest niggas alive right there. He's legendary, so shout out to him. He should be standing right there.
However, it looks like Kendrick did not get the message, as just 2 months later, he responds to Drake's Motormouth line on a J-Rock track titled Pay For It.
I tell him all the hell, King Kendrick, resurrecting my vengeance, been dissecting your motor mouth till I break down the engine.
Clearly a response to Drake's Subliminal on the language. Again, Kendrick inserts himself as the king, and he doesn't seem to think that Drake can go to distance with him. And it will be just 2 weeks later where Kendrick gets asked about this alleged diss.
You know, a lot of rumors are with the Drake thing, like, you know, did you really bring the Drake thing back with the J-Rock single, or what's that about?
What? I ain't hear about
the Drake feud. Or,
look
at
him
Drake.
going.
Look at damn, man.
No.
You're disgusting.
I think that's people digging in. That's people digging in way too far.
Once again, we're all reaching, and it's not about Drake. And just a few days later, Kendrick would get asked about his now year-old Control verse, and this time, he said that all the people that mattered understood it, and for the people who didn't, they don't matter.
The people that respected, was people that knew the deal.
Yeah.
What's the important people that respected and knew what it was, and people that don't respect it, obviously, they just people that don't get it, and really didn't matter.
And again, Kendrick claims that the chances of seeing him and Drake go head-to-head is slim to none because they're two different artists.
It's just a whole nother dynamic. I can't see myself going bar for bar with Drake. We're two different type of artists. You dig what I'm saying?
need Drake. I've argued that.
And I honestly feel like this is just Kendrick downplaying Drake as not being on his level. I don't think he respects Drake. I don't think he really ever respected Drake. And there's some underlying meaning behind this when he keeps saying it.
Would Drake be somebody you would like to have some fun with?
Nah, I couldn't. We come from two different worlds, two different backgrounds. I really don't see that.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a weird way to phrase it. With Drake,
Actually, like have some fun with, but like, nigga, no, what kind of diddy shit you on, bro?
Yeah, that would have been like, pause. Did you talk about battling, nigga? What did you talk about? No, that nigga's trash, but you need to work on your line of questioning, sir.
Playing out, is entertaining, maybe to, the people listening, but not for myself.
Keep in mind, Kendrick was classified as the savior of hip-hop. He was embraced by everyone just for the art, whereas someone like Drake really had to go to distance to prove himself, and even then, he could never win over the fans that admired a certain level of lyricism. Many consider Drake to be a pop star, and I feel like Kendrick is saying this without really saying it.
Just hold on, we're going home.
However, next Drake drops his surprise mixtape. If you're reading this, it's too late. And on that project, he had some more shots for Kendrick.
They gon' say your name on them airwaves. They gon' hit you up right after like it's only rap.
So Drake had claimed previously that he saw Kendrick just 5 days after the Control verse, and it was all love.
I know that verse had no malice behind it because I saw him 5 days later at the VMAs and it was all love.
And at this time, Drake was...
You was right. Based on that, he literally took that shit very literal.
I'm telling you, man.
I think he said, I seen him 2 days, it was all love. I think he thought Kendrick was gonna shank him up or some shit on the streets.
Talk of the town because this surprise project made a big splash. So just a few weeks later, Kendrick decided to shake things up and finally dropped his long-awaited album by surprise as well.
And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. Bahamas, I be...
Naturally, fans and the media pitted the two albums against each other. Kendrick, bruh, how do you let Drake drop a mixtape that goes harder than your album? A freaking mixtape. Not gonna compare Drake and Kendrick anymore because they're not even playing the same sport right now. Kendrick is in his own league. And comparing these projects makes zero sense. It's apples to oranges. Drake's project was great for club DJs, gym playlists, cruising in the car, whereas Kendrick's album touched on real-world issues, was chanted during protest, and is looked at today as one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. However, Drake wasn't done as he let another one go on the Game's track 100.
I would have all of your fans if I didn't go poppin', I stayed on some conscious shit.
Again, Kendrick had just released To Pimp a Butterfly, his most conscious album to date, and Drake is basically saying that he could do that style if he wanted, but he's on a different mission with his music. Also important to note,
how you gonna do that style? How? From what struggle could he pull from? What solidarity could he have any connection to any type of helping people come together to overcome him?
Yeah, they can't do it. Remember the struggle he was talking about when he was in his uncle car? It was like a 2004 Act or something like that. He was like, well, not a Beamer.
Oh yeah, you right. You know, because my gosh.
Video for this track was filmed in Compton, so Drake is saying all this while in Kendrick City.
I'm in the club every time that they play the competition. If they
don't even look right holding that red cup, because that nigga drink wine spritzers.
They even play the competition, and I seen the response they get.
Now, the Game was asked about this, and he didn't seem to think it was a shot at Kendrick, but he also didn't count it out.
Hey, Game is more of a bitch ass nigga for even allowing this shit. I was like, nah, nigga, you do that shit from your city, nigga. You lucky I'm letting you on this song, but this shows you why your ass went at the pop out game. Cause you do hoe ass shit, cause you align yourself with hoe ass shit.
No.
Drake was taking subliminals at Kendrick on that song, and Kendrick caught it and wanted to return something. I think that would be great for hip hop.
However, one of the worst things to be exposed for as a rapper was about to happen to Drake. On July 22nd, 2015, Meek Mill took to Twitter to expose Drake for having ghostwriters.
10 bands, 50 bands, 100 bands, man.
I can remember having a conversation with my little brother on the phone, and we were both saying, like, there's no way. There's no way that Drake has ghostwriters because he's too good of a writer himself. It just doesn't make sense. But boy.
Oh yeah, he was smashing DJ Drama X. Oh, it might have been. Wow, yeah, that's where the initial lease came from.
Boy, were we wrong.
Okay, 10 bands, 50 bands, 100 bands, man.
Did you hear the reference tracks? Line for line, word for word. This is bad. No, it's a terrible time to be a Drake fan. Shortly after Meek's tweets, the reference tracks would leak to support the ghostwriter allegations, and now we get back to Kendrick, who just a few months earlier made reference to rappers with ghostwriters on his single King Kunta.
But a rapper with a ghostwriter. What the fuck happened? I swore I went down.
So basically, Kendrick found out about this ghostwriting shit months before we did, and months before it even got exposed. And Kendrick is basically saying, like, I know what you've been up to, buddy. I'm not gonna say anything, but I know. With all that said, as everyone knows, Drake responded to Meek Mill with a now legendary diss record back to back.
Back to back like I'm Jordan 96, 97, whoa.
And being a day one Drake fan, for me personally, I was never more proud of Drake in his whole entire career than when he dropped back to back.
The new record, back to back, tough tune. Tough tune.
But once again, Kendrick responds to Drake just 1 month later on Dr. Dre's Compton album.
But still I got enemies giving me energy, I don't wanna fight now. Subliminal sending me all of this hate, I thought I was holding the mic down.
In this one, Kendrick references Drake's recent track, Enemies.
got enemies, got a lot of enemies.
Kendrick is once again talking about how Drake keeps going the Subliminal route, which at the end of the day is really no different from what he's doing, but he didn't stop there as he did it again on another song from the same album.
They liable to bury him, they nominated 6 to carry him. The beef is on his breath, inheriting the drama better than the great white. If this is life in my aquarium.
The words "they nominated 6 to carry him" could potentially be a Drake reference, given the fact that Toronto is referred to as the 6. And if this is the case, Kendrick is basically saying that everyone seems to think that Drake is his greatest opponent, but that he's a great white and that this is his aquarium, aka he's the king of hip-hop.
And you ever look back on any and feel like you'd like to change any of the things that you've written, or
It'll be me saying I want to go deeper. I should have went deeper. You know, I shouldn't have held back.
And at this point, Kendrick finally gets his well-deserved moment at the Grammys, winning 5 awards, but more importantly, he finally clinched the Best Rap Album category with To Pimp a Butterfly.
Oh, glory to God, that's for sure.
Drake also racked up a bunch of accolades in 2015. If you're reading this, it's too late. Broke Spotify's record for 17.3 million streams in its first week. Hotline Bling had dominated the charts, and his collaborative album with Future also did crazy numbers. And I mean, even at this,
I mean, he did numbers, but it with the Grammys is some bullshit, but that year it seemed like they did their job correctly. It is a committee of people they got to go through. Some people, you know, grease them hands for shit, but the numbers versus a whole bunch of people saying you are a very talented motherfucker. Which would you go with?
Oh, Kendrick.
Oh, not between Kendrick and Drake, but I'm saying like which accolades was the best?
Yeah, who was better? Who got a better project?
Yeah, you know.
Like I said, I already think the Pimp a Butterfly is like one of the greatest projects I've ever heard in rap.
And I like how they slid in that him and Future project and shit, when without Future that shit would not have been hard at all. Because I gotta be honest, I did listen to that shit. I just have to cut it off when Drake came on.
Anything Drake touches is gonna do numbers. Next, we get some inside information that this situation between Drake and Kendrick could have got really ugly. Former NFL player turned commentator Marcellus Wiley wouldn't say any names, but said that years earlier he interviewed one of the two rappers and it completely went off on the other.
The Drake Kendrick beef, when it was really starting to brew. Yeah. I was on Sports Nation at the time, and we taped an interview with one of the people, and that one person went in on the other person. And we were ready to let this go, but then that one person's team made sure that didn't get out.
Marcellus was quoted in a DJ Vlad interview as saying that the person went so hard in this interview that it could have brought the beef to the heights of 50 Cent and Ja Rule. And you gotta keep in mind, Marcellus is trying to sell a book, and he claimed that in this book, he would expose everything that was said and who said it. And I bought the book. I spent the $13.99. I didn't read it. I searched it. And here's what he had to say. We even got Drake on tape talking major shit about Kendrick during an interview. Of course, after watching the interview, Drake's publicist wouldn't let us air that tape, but we still got it. Take my word for it. So that's it. That is the big expose. Like, I too was cheated, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray by Marcellus Wiley. Now, we need to take any self-promotion tactics with a grain of salt, but the date surrounding this thing is very interesting. Kendrick drops the Control verse on August 12, 2013. In a Hot 97 interview on September 24th, Drake was very bitter, and the very next day, September 25th, Drake appears on ESPN. And you guys could tell me what you think, but to me, I believe this story. I believe that Drake did this, 100%.
I personally enjoy making like great music and bodies of work over like being the talk of Twitter for like 5 days, you know.
However, in 2016, one man dominated the charts, and that was Drake, smashing record after record, pumping out hit after hit, Views sold 1 million in its first week and went on to become quadruple platinum that year. He had several #1 records such as Work with Rihanna, For Free with DJ Khaled, and One Dance with WizKid. One Dance actually became Spotify's most streamed song ever, and Spotify also announced that Drake was the most streamed artist of 2016.
It's so amazing. I've never heard that One Dance song you talking about.
Free? Man, I don't. That was a huge song. Yeah.
2016, OJ was dropping some immaculate mixtapes around that time. Shout out to the Juice, man.
Basically, in 2016, Drake just dominated. And speaking of For Free by DJ Khaled, Drake actually mentioned Kendrick on that song.
Like your boy from Compton said, you know this dick ain't free.
Again, this appears to be more of a friendly nod to Kendrick, where Drake is referencing his song, which is also called For Free.
This dick ain't free.
However, 2017 was about to start, and Kendrick was about to take some of the most direct shots at Drake to date.
Tiptoeing around my name, nigga, you lame. And when I get at you, homie, don't you tell me you was just playing. Oh, I was just playing, K-Dot.
What's most interesting about this track in particular is the timing of when Kendrick put it out. Drake had just dropped his project More Life, which was mostly a happy-go-lucky summer vibe that contained no shots at Kendrick whatsoever, and just a few days later, Kendrick drops this surprise, aggressive 116-bar track that is full of shots at Drake.
Yelling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am the greatest rapper alive. So damn great, motherfucker, I've died.
It's no secret that Drake has claimed to be somewhere on this top 5 list, but more recently on More Life, he claimed that he was #1 on that list.
I know I said top 5, but I'm top 2, and I'm not 2, and I got one. Thought you had one, but it's not one, nigga, no.
So let me get this straight. Kendrick hears this track, gets the pen out, jumps in the booth, and sends a clear message just a few days after Drake drops that he's the best rapper alive.
Ho Jay-Z, Hall of Fame, sit your punk ass down.
Drake's been known to draw comparisons between himself and
That's how you talk
Hov,
shit.
so it only makes sense that this shot was directed at Drake.
I used to want to be on Rockefeller, then I turned into Jay.
Lastly, Kendrick ends off the track to surprise fans and warn Drake that he's got a new album coming in a few weeks.
You know what time it is, Annie up, this is him forever. Y'all got till April the 7th to get your shit together.
Kendrick was really strategic in releasing this track, as it took most of the attention off Drake's project. And to add insult to injury, his fans flocked to Drake's Instagram account and spammed the number 4 in Roman numerals. And Kendrick, true to his word, he drops the album, and he has some more shots for Drake.
Niggas wanna flex on me and be in LA for free, huh? Next time they hit the 10 freeway, we need receipt, huh?
Kendrick references Drake's track For Free, and although Drake is from Toronto...
And shout out to Juvenile. That has been... Eminem just gave props to that flow. Juvenile is a legend.
He's lived in Calabasas since 2012. With that said, Kendrick is more than likely talking about how Drake was in Compton while shooting the video for 100. Kendrick is from Compton, probably didn't like it.
Most of y'all throw rocks and try to hide your hand. Just say his name and I promise that you'll see Candyman.
At this point, Kendrick is begging Drake to just call him out. He makes a reference to a popular 90s movie, Candyman, where the premise of that movie is if you say Candyman's name 5 times, he'll come kill you. Kendrick is basically saying, if you say my name, your career is dead. And I think Kendrick has something on Drake. Something scathing, something that Drake doesn't want to see exposed. We've already seen Drake a couple times now try to dead this thing. There's more coming. But yeah, Kendrick keeps going. And Kendrick seemingly mocks Drake's style of music on his song.
This is 7 months ago, bro.
He made this 5 months before the beef took off, and Kendrick had scathing information about Drake.
Scathing. Not, hey, I think he got some, scathing. Come, what's the dirt, bro? When you just go, let us know. What if What's the Dirt take off his mask and he Kendrick?
Hey, they got their masks. We seen Joe Biden at that ball.
We seen it.
Paper waving,
There's nobody gonna tell me that he's not mocking Drake here, because Kendrick doesn't usually sound like this. This is Drake.
I'm about to glow.
Next, we hear Kendrick on Future's smash hit Mask Off, and this one is a very direct response to one of Drake's shots.
Platinum, gotta look at yourself and ask what happened. How y'all let a conscious nigga go commercial while only making conscious albums?
Very clearly a response to Drake's claims on 100 when he claimed that he could take all of Kendrick's fans if he were to pursue the conscious hip-hop lane.
And I stayed on some conscious shit.
But Kendrick had proven time and time again that he could have commercial success and be conscious at the same time. At this point, he had 3 cohesive projects under his belt, all of which were extremely successful.
I'm African-American, I'm black as the moon, heritage of a small village, part of my residence.
Kendrick had also proved that he could easily navigate the pop music lane, having massively successful features with artists like Taylor Swift.
We was OG like DOC, remember that?
And again, when you listen to that track, he's not compromising his sound. Like, he's still rapping. It's all bars. Now, I'm sure none of you forgot about Drake's ghostwriter claims, and Kendrick didn't forget either. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Kendrick gave his 2 cents on the situation. It depends what arena you're putting yourself in. I called myself the best rapper. I cannot call myself the best rapper if I have a ghostwriter.
Period.
If you're saying you're a different type of artist and you don't really care about the art form of being the best rapper, then so be it. Make great music, but the title, it won't be there. And no matter how you slice it, the dude is not wrong. To be the best rapper, you need to write your bars. I would be lying if I said that when I found out that Drake had ghostwriters that I didn't look at his music differently. I still listen to his music, but even now, when he says something dope, I got this little voice in the back of my head that says,
I feel just like bruh. Just like him, dog. I relate this what he just said right there is exactly how I feel, bro. Like, damn.
I ain't gonna front. I do feel like a lot of people having kind of a lot of fans are visceral about it, because it's kind of like, nigga, you been believing in Santa Claus, and then they finally rip that Band-Aid off and be like, yeah, sorry we were lying to you, okay? And you want to know something? A whole lot of other people knew about it too. And
Facts.
you kind of stupid because you believe that shit. Other people been saying it, and you just want to keep on believing in the dream.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, dog, but you be telling me, you be like, I didn't even say that shit. And I was like, damn, nigga, I ain't see it, bro. Like, I never seen that fucking interview. Because if I would have seen that interview, it definitely would have jumped out. Like, wait a minute, what's happening?
Shout out to my mother, Jackie Miller. She told me I was not one of them kids that believed in Santa Claus. I remember verbatim. She said, boy, ain't no white man coming there. First off, we live in apartments. Second off, ain't no white man bring you no toys. And we don't have a chimney. I immediately went to kindergarten and told all my friends, and they called my mama, and she was like, look, hey, don't tell the other kids that. But she told the teacher, I'm not going to tell my son no fake stuff, though. And
yeah,
that was the beginning of me and my trutherness.
Did I ever say I thought I did with no Santa Claus?
Out it is.
My mom was like, look, you know I can't afford no presents this year, so it ain't gonna be no Santa Claus. So I ain't believe her. I thought she was capping and shit. Until I woke up on Christmas and it was that shit up in that tree. I was like, damn. She's like, you gotta wait till I get paid next week. And that's how I found out.
Oh, shit. Damn. That's horrible. How old was you when that happened?
Man, I was like in the 5th grade, I think. Because I remember going to school, and it was this girl. Remember the dude I told you about that smack shit out of me?
Yeah. Hey, y'all, for context, this is a whole story to go with it. This was like, y'all got to hear the rest of the story. I got to post that video too, but Briss was just not getting smacked for random reasons. He was bullying folks, and the motherfucker had to shake his ass for the bully.
And I was like tweaking, but I was out of pocket. But his sister, she was in class with me. Her name was Takesha. And she had bought her little sister, which I think she wasn't even in school. And I don't even know why. I was like, Santa Claus doesn't exist. Why did I even say that to that little girl? I told that little girl Santa Claus doesn't exist. in the 5th grade. She like, what? Santa Claus over here.
In 5th grade, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
That was maybe she wasn't 5th. Maybe you wasn't 5th. It might have been. I have to really think about how old was I when that happened.
Yeah.
No, because I was going to this school named Laux, and I was probably like in 3rd grade.
Okay, because I'm be honest. 5th grade, if anybody letting their kids still believe in Santa Claus, once you hit double digits, if you letting a 10-year-old believe in Santa Claus, I'm sorry, you failing your children on a major level. Any of the fairies or the Clauses, the Great Pumpkin, any of that shit, you say Easter Bunny, if you letting them make it to 10th, you failing it. That's you making a Drake fan.
Let's just yeah, it's dope, but
did he write it? However, Drake attempts to keep it friendly again by tipping his hat to Kendrick when Damn outsold More Life by over 100,000 copies. Amazing to see.
And this is to that motherfucker that was in the community tab when I posted about how Kendrick just beat Drake on the monthly Spotify numbers by 100,000. Now, in the article, it said he eclipsed him by 100. Look, semantics, tomato, the motherfucker's beating him. But it's just funny how he beat him by 100,000 previously. And Kendrick been whooping his ass with the Grammys. Y'all keep bringing up numbers and shit. But I tell you this damn much. The Grammys can be crooked as all they want to. But you can't bot the Grammys. Like you
can't bot the Grammys?
These motherfucking streaming services.
And you can't bot the Smithsonian either.
You cannot bot the Smithsonian and you cannot bot a Pulitzer. Your reality can't hide behind the Wi-Fi. Let's continue. Also, have you ever heard of them people that got a punchable face? That's what this motherfucker got. Let's continue.
Our music moving. A fan had also commented, "Get Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole on the same record," and Drake liked the comment. Now, I hope at this point you guys can see the theme of Drake trying to squash it. And
yeah, I can see the theme of bitch assness. This nigga is multiply. You've been knowing for years he don't like you, and you basically sucking dick online trying to get this motherfucker. You are digitally sucking dick. Like, you're a digital dick sucker. Let's continue.
Kendrick seemingly responds to Drake's praise on his track All the Stars with SZA.
Fuck you and all your expectations. I don't even want your congratulations.
Kendrick is not trying to hear it. Just save the bullshit.
Oh, you important. You the moral to the story. You endorsing motherfucker. I don't even like you.
I don't even like you, bro. Like, which is true. However, on the exact same day, Drake drops a track with some of his most obvious shots to date, Diplomatic Immunity.
They try to compare us, but like a job straight out of high school, there's no you and I taught you everything you know, now you got student pride.
Drake does not like the Kendrick comparisons, and he brings...
I taught you everything you know? Because you took that nigga out to dinner in the fucking damn Maybach, nigga? This nigga's insane.
Brings it back to when he helped Kendrick with his career early on. What makes this clearly about Kendrick is the No You and I line, which were both tracks from Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly.
And I love myself. The world is a ghetto.
The two would then go head-to-head at the 2018 Billboard Awards. Many question who would be crowned as Rapper of the Year, and once again, Kendrick came out drastically ahead.
Not your future, not your comfort, not your reverend, not your glory, not your heaven, not your angel.
And yet again, Drake attempts to be friendly by sharing some old Twitter DMs between himself and Kendrick.
That sound like some shit. You remember the trend that used to happen online? It was like Future be like Future. It was like Future would have quotes and he would be like, "Hey, I just seen that you this nigga is trying to get back friends with him like that was his ex bitch or some shit."
Bruh,
this is
very sad.
This is the most moist shit I've ever seen.
It's pretty sad, bro.
Wowzers.
Yo, my man, what's the word? Finishing my project, Section 80. When you back in Cali? I know that shit'll be incredible. We gotta do something for real. I'll be back for BET Awards this month. And this could be one of two things, really. Like, Drake could be saying, look, man, we used to be cool. Like, remember? Can we get back to that? Or he could be just throwing this back in Kendrick's face again, that he's the one that gave him a start and, like, I put you on, remember? Regardless of the reasoning, Drake still had another subliminal for Kendrick on Sandra's Rose.
Bury me and I'll be born again. I walk in godly form amongst the mortal men.
Again, Drake makes reference to another track from To Pimp a Butterfly with the words mortal men. In this one, Drake continues to insert himself as being a caliber above Kendrick.
But I don't know. I'm no mortal man.
And Drake ends off the year with even more compliments for Kendrick in a Rap Radar interview.
I have a lot of respect for, the other two guys that I'm constantly, up against, which is like Cole and Kendrick.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for those guys because they also continue to, stay true to what we started with, and finding new ways to do it.
However, things go quiet in 2020. Keep in mind, Kendrick wasn't releasing any music, and fans started to question if the feud was over.
I don't think that the Drake-Kendrick tension is dead. I think that last decade, they fought as long as they could fight, and the decade ended without us having a decisive winner. And I don't think either of them have gotten off of that.
And people call Joe crazy all the time, but Joe Budden is right about a lot of shit. He is. And while Kendrick has gone ghost, nowhere to be found, Drake completely dominated the music business. I'm talking about Oprah's Bank Account, Tootsie Slide, Nonstop, In My Feelings, God's Plan, Nice for What, Pop Star, Life is Good, Chicago Freestyle, Laugh Now, Cry Later.
I've only heard God's Plan, and not even the whole song. And that's,
I ain't gonna lie,
I'm being a fraud on the video.
I ain't gonna lie, like that Chicago Freestyle, that's like one of my favorite Drake albums ever. He was going in on that shit, which, like I said, I gotta look at shit different now because when I first was hearing that stuff back then, I'm like, man, this nigga cold. Like, he writing this fire. This shit is fire. But, man, you got to question everything now, man.
Damn. I really wish I could. I wish I could step in the ears of a person that enjoys Drake music just to see what it feels like. To be able to enjoy it. It's got to be great. Billions of other people like McDonald's. It sold billions of burgers, so it's got to be. Well, fuck that. McDonald's is tasty, and to y'all motherfuckers who said you don't eat it in our community poll, forget y'all pretentious asses.
Oh, I ain't see that. Man, them motherfucking Big Macs is amazing, bro. They're like one of the best. One of my favorite things to eat. I know it's not the best thing for me, but it's delicious.
Why it ain't the best thing for you to eat, bro?
Because it's McDonald's. Well, I have seen several videos of people letting McDonald's hamburgers chill for months on end, and they ain't never decay. They maintain the same way.
Look, okay, let's say that is true. All right, people ask me all the time, "Hey, what you do to be seeing in shape XYZ?" I'm like, McDonald's, and they be like, "That's impossible." They be like, "What about all the preservatives?" I'll be like, "Exactly." The preservatives are preserving me. Let's continue.
This is just undeniable. Like, there's no other artist on earth who is doing this except for Drake. However, in 2021, the boogeyman himself, Kendrick Lamar, rises from the dead and has some shots for Drake on Family Ties with Baby Keem.
Smoking on your top 5 tonight.
Again, he's firing back at Drake's now overstated top 5 claims.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
And Kendrick would continue on to address Drake's claims about being the GOAT.
And not the good kind of gay either, where two men love each other, like Eminem said. This dude is just a weirdo. Gee whiz.
I am the Omega. PG Lane Rolling Gang SIE. Don't you address me unless it's with 4 letters.
At the end of the track, Baby Keem seemingly reveals that Drake has been DMing his girl.
Number 2 DMing my bitch. That's cool, that's why.
However, just a month later, Drake would reply to Kendrick again on his song No Friends in the Industry.
For debating who the GOAT. Then I make the shit about the numbers, all I know.
Drake knows at this point when it comes to selling records, when it comes to breaking records, nobody is standing next to him in hip-hop. He simply dominates on a commercial scale. With all that said, Drake was now celebrating 10 years of Take Care, and he decided to share an old photo of him and Kendrick.
Why is this dude always sharing old shit like a broad? This dude is a broad.
Bruh, if you knew that Mike Tyson was looking for you, and Mike Tyson had beef with you and was trying to heat you up, and y'all used to be cool, you could be like, look, bro, me and you used to be cool, fam. I don't want no problem. I don't want no smoke with you, Mike. I'm shouting you out, fam.
All right. How do you think Mike will react to you posting no pictures of y'all like you his ex-bitch and shit? I think that would make Mike a little bit more madder, don't you?
He definitely gonna be pissed off. He like, I fucking eat your kids, motherfucker.
Exactly. Once again, this nigga does not know how culture works in this shit. You acting like we went together or something, nigga. Like, what are you doing? Nigga, what? That's on social media.
And that's why Kendrick said, you know, we got some shit to address. This is the stuff that he talked about.
Yeah, he should have. I'm sure the line was originally, Drake, I know you be in the dress because you acting like a damn broad. Let's continue. Shout out to the trans community.
And I get it. Like, you know, he helped with the project. Nice gesture, but why keep doing this? Why keep being friendly to someone who doesn't respect you? However, at this point, 4 years have passed since Kendrick had dropped an album, and while he was on a Milk Box Missing, Drake was still very much active, releasing Certified Lover Boy. That album.
So I'm not understanding this whole he was on the Milk Box missing. Apparently, this nigga did so well in life that he decided not to. And we obviously see this dude been working. Ain't like he wasn't making music, but he decided, you know what? I got enough money. And I got enough actual friends and family. I don't need to be on this damn social media fucking hamster wheel. And I'm not a slave to the accolades of millions of people I don't even fucking know. And if Drake ain't learned nothing, all these billion streams, and Drake fans been saying this shit too, and they right. All these billion streams, now half of them 500 million that was jamming to that nigga just last year is saying, hey, run for your life now. Numbers and shit don't matter. Like, all of them billions of streams and shit don't matter. Cause them motherfuckers don't give a fuck. They just want to see, they just dancing and shit. Drake is not hip hop. Drake is something. For me, he is not even music. People want to disrespect McDonald's and shit, and unfortunately, I have to equate him to McDonald's. No, I can't disrespect McDonald's like that. McDonald's is delicious. He is the equivalent of gas station hot dogs.
Hey, Quick Trip hot dogs fire.
You know what? Once again, I must give an apology. I don't know what the... Yes, they had gas station hot dogs and nachos are really the top tier of both hot dogs and nachos. I'm sorry, I don't know what to call this nigga. I can't call him potato chips. I can't call him white bread. White bread is delicious.
Gas station sushi, because I would not try that.
What gas stations is selling sushi?
It's I was in like Jersey or something. They had some sushi in the gas station.
Yeah, I do think I think you should be very cautious of that. Yeah.
Album went on to break Spotify's record for the most streams in a single day, and in that same year, he also had some notable bangers like Wants and Needs with Lil Baby.
Come with a classic, they come around years later and say it's a sleeper.
But finally, after 5 fucking years, we get the Kendrick album.
Rain on me, put the blame on me, got guilt, got hurt, got shame on me.
And sadly, a lot of people did not like this album. I'm not one of them. I absolutely loved it. I'm also a big therapy guy because I'm bipolar. I don't really have any choice but not be a therapy guy, but this project definitely connected with me, at least. And it was on this album where Kendrick admitted on a song that he didn't understand why Drake and Kanye squashed their beef.
When Kanye got back with Drake, I was slightly confused. Guess I'm not mature as I think. Got some healing to do.
And in my opinion, this is just Kendrick's way of telling Drake that he has zero intentions of ever patching things up with him. And there's people that we meet all the time.
I mean, he literally said, I don't like you in the song. Like, you ain't even got to cuss to make I don't like you be blunt. And you might just, that's worse than cussing somebody out, really. I don't like.
Yeah.
But he couldn't accept it. Posting no pictures like a broad. Let's continue.
Time that we just don't like. Like sometimes it's for no reason at all. And Kendrick's got a reason. Next, Drake gets extra petty by releasing a dance album, Honestly Never Mine, on Kendrick's birthday.
If I come around, you
did not know that.
Drake knows damn well that Kendrick is the last person that would ever release a project like this one, and what better way of saying, look at how versatile I am, than by dropping a project like this on his birthday. Now, I don't think this little stunt bothered Kendrick at all, but it was still pretty strategic from Drake. But Drake was not done yet. On a track with Lil Uzi, he took some really obvious shots at Kendrick.
Fake woke niggas, fake deep. You ain't no favor for me. Gave your ass a little sneak peek, yeah. Now you gotta take a back seat.
So, just a few months earlier, Kendrick had very similar wording on his N95 track.
Take off the fake deep, take off the fake woke, take off the I'm broke, I care.
Drake is insinuating that Kendrick is more or less running a grift when it comes to what he's saying in his music. He's basically claiming that Kendrick doesn't really stand by or believe what he's preaching, and he also reminds Kendrick that he's the one who put him on. What made this reference even more obvious is the line, "Now you gotta take a back seat," which is clearly a reference to Kendrick's backseat freestyle.
My mind is living on cloud nine and this nine is never on vacation.
And just like me, it looks like Drake really enjoyed Kendrick's new project as he showed up in the audience at Kendrick's show in Toronto. Again, Drake knows what he's doing. He knows the blogs are gonna pick this up. The question is, was he there to show love or was he there to play chess? I mean, at this point, based on the history of Drake's friendliness,
that's some fatal attraction shit right there. That dude is. This is a weirdo.
I'm just gonna chalk it up to him just trying to be cool with him again. And for Kendrick, what better way of taking 5 years away than by dropping an album and cleaning house again at the BET Awards? Going into the awards, Drake was way ahead of everybody with 14 nominations, but it didn't matter because Kendrick mopped the floor with him, winning Best Hip Hop Video, Best Live Performer, Lyricist of the Year, Video Director of the Year, Album of the Year, and Artist of the Year. However, Drake wasn't very impressed with Kendrick's 5-year delay, and he let everyone know about it while on tour.
I don't know about these guys that go away 3, 4, 5 years, want to chill out, all that shit. That's not me.
And I want to ask you guys this. How many times has Kendrick said something nice about Drake in the last decade? 0. Fucking 0. It's all been Drake. We've got 7 or 8 examples here in this video of Drake complimenting Kendrick, saying that he wants to do music with him, reminiscing on old times, just being friendly with him, and Kendrick has said fucking nothing. That gotta tell you something.
The guy did a good job.
Just being friendly, just being fake as fuck.
He did a good job with that.
It came across my feed.
Good to see it edited correctly.
Hey, what's the dirt?
Bitch, I'm about to blow up.
Another
video. I feel that Dirt get a BET Awards too many props though.
I was like, nobody gives a fuck about no damn BET Award. Like,
he got 14 BET Award nominations. Nobody give a fuck about none of that.
Last time I sit and watched the episode was of the BET Awards. Gucci Mane and the Brick Squad had took over, and I think that was like 2009 or 2008. That was it. That was the last time, and I fuck with Gucci them. And at that point, I was like, I'm listening to Gucci every day, but somehow, some way, you didn't kind of. Oh wait, that was the BET Hip Hop Awards, right? That was.
Oh, it was
BET Awards. All right,
because the last BET, it may have been the Hip Hop Awards. And I remember it's 50 walking in the crowd like punking niggas. Do you remember that? You remember that shit?
Remember that?
Because people were talking about they was gonna do something that 50. This one, 50 was swole, dog. Like stupid swole. I forgot how swole 50 was. And so I saw a recap of this video and he walked in the crowd and he was looking at everybody that was talking shit. It was like, what y'all gonna do?
That had to be like pre 2009 though.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Okay, yeah. No, I ain't caught it, but you know, he Canadian. He don't know no better. And he probably in his I can hear him right now talking to his girl. He was like, yeah, I'm including the BET Awards. They're really gonna like that I'm being inclusive with their own Black Awards that they have in there.
Hey, but outside of that though, the real Mr. Dirt, man, he do some fire work, bro.
Oh, Dirty be killing it, man. Props to dude. It's gotta hurt to be a fan of somebody and you do a deep dive video and it just show he had a counter of Drake's hoe assness. 7 reach outs over 10 years. That is like 70% of the time you trying to reach out to somebody who not only said nothing nice about you, dissed you constantly, but eventually just flat out of the song said, I don't like you. And then you show up to their show with your motherfucking whatever kind of braids them was. Wow. And I just we doing Euphoria next because we done got the pre-text or whatever, or we either go do Euphoria or I guess we could do, I don't know if he did push-ups and stuff.
He did push-ups.
We may need to do that. If he did like that verse, we should do that. But I guess we can go in order. We already did 616. So maybe we do push-ups. I make sure that I have my barf bag here. Because I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of Drizzy glazing off in that bitch of a video, and this is sacrifices I make for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be honest, I won't watch no damn Drake deep dive just for my own personal, without it being projected onto the internet, not in my own personal time.
Hey, when we post this video, you might have to put Drake, comma, and then all the rest of the ghostwriters in the comments, nigga.
We might not. We gonna run out of damn room. I don't even think it's enough space. I think you stop at like 100 characters. Kenny Miller, Navidius, whatever Future last name is, because we got to put these niggas real names. What's Daylight real name?
Oh, you know, bro.
You know what I realized? I ain't never heard back to back the whole song.
For real? No record.
I heard the intro. Y'all, look, people don't understand. I have a literal, like, aversion to this nigga's voice. Like, it does not sound good to me at all. Like I said, it's only 2 times. That's it. Verse with Lil Baby and fucking this damn Family Matters shit. Every other time, this nigga has sounded like what's the shit to me. His voice sounds like shit. His voice sounds like somebody whose breath stank and they come talk to you. That's what it sounds like to my ears. And there's nothing I can do. It's a visceral, like in my bones type shit. And I can't get over it. The beat, no matter how ice cold the beat, like I said earlier, I listen to the album, so when the Drake hater come, I can be like, yeah, that was shit. But I actively kind of ignore the words because, first off, I don't believe he wrote it. Second off, I just really weep for the dope beats. Sorry, if you too Nate loud, you reading it. Excellent beats on there. That's all garbage to me because he on them. Same thing with Certified Lover Boy. I was in Hawaii when Certified Lover Boy came out. And of course I had to hear it so I could hate on motherfuckers. That I'm Too Sexy song. I love this song.
That was dope record.
Future was on it killing it. And Drake had to fucking bitch it up. And Project Pat, he had Project Pat on there, which I'm cool with him getting a check. Excellent beats. Excellent teamwork. They just got a horrible star that they pushed in the front. But hey, I'm just a hater. Well, guys, see us for the next video, which will probably be push-ups. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, join the membership. Hateration Nation. Peace out.
Peace.